So then in you, there's a part of you that wants to be special. There's a part of you that wants to get this or wants to understand this. That wants this special story for you, that you want to wake up, that you want to be liberated. But just notice that that's feelings and that's ideas and that's impressions appearing. And that's not who you are. Who you are is beyond that. Who you are isn't in that realm. Who you are is silently watching now, free, and is all things. Still, content. And there's breathing happening, and there's hearing happening, and there's feelings happening, and there's emotions happening. And beyond that, there's experiencing happening. There is something experiencing all of that. But what the mind identifies with is the feelings, is the sensations, is the emotions, is the thoughts, is the ideas. That's who I am. I'm conscious. I'm alive. But there's not actually anybody that's alive. Who is alive? Who is looking out of your eyes? Who's experiencing now? Who? Who do you think you are? You see the speaking's begun to happen now, and now it's effortless. But in the beginning, it's like I need encouragement to get it going. That's funny. And this is magic. This is really, truly wonderful. It doesn't sound wonderful to the person because the person wants to be something special. It wants to be an imagination of itself. So it wants to be somebody that achieves enlightenment or achieves a nirvana or somebody that's free or somebody that's happy. It can't imagine that there's something else watching, that this is nothing to do with you. There's something watching that's so free and infinite and just doesn't care on the human level. So there's talking happening, but there's absolutely stillness at the same time. There's something that's still, that doesn't move, that knows. And it's one consciousness looking through all these eyes. So when you go and speak to someone, you're actually speaking to the same consciousness, that same love, that same intimacy. You are here, right now, in this. You're not your thoughts going past. You're not your ideas of what you need. You're not your problems. You're not your sensation of your bum on the seat. But it's in that you disappear. It's in that, right in the middle of the sensation, there you are. You could say there is a watching of that that's so still and free. And it's not separate from all that's happening. That watching is all things. There isn't a consciousness that's separate from things. So it's like everything that's happening is still and watching itself and not separate from itself. And all human suffering comes from the illusion that you're somebody moving in time, that you're a name, that you're an identity, that you're someone that was born and will die at age 80, and that you've got this life in between. That this life has to have happy times, you have to accomplish certain things, you have to do certain things, you have to be a certain thing, and that's not true. You're a human being, not a human doer. All that was ever asked was for this to be experienced, for it to be watched. Suffering comes when you identify with your pain and pleasure, and you believe that that pleasure will one day lead you to freedom. Freedom isn't pleasure. Pleasure is an experience that comes and goes. Freedom isn't love, isn't intimacy, isn't sexuality, isn't orgasm. Freedom is this innocence that you could call love, that's right here, that's watching silently, that's never judging anything, that's holding everything. And you get bogged down with life and you forget the magic because you're bogged down in you and what you believe you have to be. That you have to be really rich or really successful, and that you have to do certain things, and you stop trusting life and you begin to fight life. You begin to try and swim upstream because you think that life is against you when who you are is this life. And then it disbalances your chakra system. Your emotional body comes off center because you're always telling yourself that there is a problem and me as a human needs to fix this problem. But the problem is the identification with the human. It's not actually anything that's happening. Life can be cruel and it can create lots of pleasure and lots of pain, but that's not inherently the problem. The problem is the identification with the person that goes through that. You naturally can deal with the traumas and the difficulties of life, like all animals are designed to be able to deal with them. What you can't deal with is the identification with the person and the belief that life is happening to you. It's too scary, it's too overwhelming. No other animal feels like that. They're totally connected and centered in who they are. They just don't know who they are, like we can know who we are, but they're totally free. There is nobody that's suffering in there. They don't identify with form. They don't identify with their face and think, oh, I'm a dog or I'm a sheep. They don't know about that. They just are in every moment, experiencing, free, and it comes and it goes and it appears and it disappears. And it's deeply relaxing, that movement back to self. It's an energetic shift. And it's deeply relaxing because when you're too invested in your feelings, like that's all that's important. So if you feel bad, that's all that's important. You feel bad. Whereas when it's see it as this energetic shift, then your feeling is that you're empty, that there's nothing that this is attaching to. There's nothing that's being hurt. And then the way that translates into the human form is a movement easily from feeling to feeling and experience to experience. The human form becomes less attached to experience and to its feelings.